Firstly, you need to analyze why this kind of product that you can't find on Alibaba, and there are some reasons.
That's the best situation you can be in. All your competitors are looking at Amazon, trying to find your product on Alibaba, and it cannot be sourced. I'm worried about sharing that idea. I'm worried about giving it to them because what if they take it and produce the product themselves?
For people who just want to making profit from copying products, they don't want to take the risk about like developing a new product.
It's like suppliers are in the business of supplying, not being an end seller or creating new products all the time.
The most effective way is to apply for a trademark, apply for a design patent or invention patent.
Which would you prefer? You're selling in the US on Amazon.com. You're sourcing from China. Which patent would you want? One based in the US or one based in China? When a seller finds a product, perhaps on Amazon or something, they find a product they really want to sell, but you just cannot find it on Alibaba. So you type in the keyword, you're looking for a supplier or a manufacturer, and it's just nowhere to be found. You're scrolling, nothing. What do you advise for that seller in that situation on trying to find a supplier of that product? You know, how does Jing sourcing handle that for its clients? How do you go find that product? And two, how can a seller at home go find that product?
For this kind of question, firstly, you need to analyze why this kind of product that you can't find on Alibaba, and there are some reasons. And the first reason is maybe this product is not made in China, especially for some like local products in some countries, like some cultural products, and there's no manufacturer in China making. Yeah, it's possible to ask a manufacturer to make one, but most percentage of those products is not exported from China, so you cannot see on Alibaba. And the second situation is, does this product have a patent issue? Like if the product is a patent product, of course you cannot find on Alibaba. And for patent issue, it's also very easy to like identify. You can try to search the same product in Amazon, and if there are a lot of sellers selling this product, for these sellers, they are selling different brands. That means it's less likely to have a patent issue. And also like the third situation is you can search on Amazon and try to find out how many people are selling this item on Amazon. Only few sellers, maybe one or two or three are selling on Amazon, then it's probably a Chinese manufacturer or like or a seller that they created their own mode to make this product. So that means this mode is not available for public, that not available for many supplier on Alibaba to sell. That's why you cannot find it. So in this kind of situation, if it didn't have a patent issue, then you have to invest a mode to copy one, you can say it.
Yeah, this is really interesting because that's what I find is I found a product before where I'm like, wow, there's so much potential in that. I can see a lot of like keyword searches on Amazon for this specific product. And that specific product is literally one seller. There's not multiple, one seller, and it's nowhere to be found on Alibaba. There's lots of similar items on Alibaba, but not this specific thing. So that's interesting. You're saying it's probably either a manufacturer themselves saving it for themselves, or a seller who's gone to a manufacturer and got an NNN agreement and done it properly so it cannot be sold to anyone else. Which is a really important thing that we're going to jump into in a moment as well, is, you know, how do you actually go about doing that? Because that's the best situation you can be in. All your competitors are looking at Amazon, trying to find your product on Alibaba, and it cannot be sourced. So that's really what sellers are looking for. And I'm very happy that we're going to be going into that today. So Jing, can Jing sourcing actually help me find those hard to find products? Let's say I found one, it's in sports and outdoors, I love this product. I see there's a market for it. I cannot find the supplier. So I come to Jing Sourcing. Can you help me source that product? And what do you recommend in terms of sourcing that product? What are going to be my options?
Yes, that's what we do. And many customers, they cannot find any supplier on Alibaba that selling exactly the same thing. And sometimes there are few suppliers selling on Alibaba, but their price is very expensive because they are a trading company. So, and in this kind of situation, customer will come to us to find any like possible solutions to make this kind of product. So once we get our customers' product inquiry, then our agent will analyze what kind of manufacturer is suitable to make the product. And sometimes we will find different type of manufacturer to make the same product, just to see which solution is better. For example, we helped an American customer develop a self-stirring function baby bottle. Yeah, and so then we will have like two solutions to find the manufacturer. One solution is to find a baby bottle manufacturer to make the product, and just at the electronic part to make the baby bottle have the self-stirring function. Or the second solution is try to find a self-stirring mug manufacturer that asks them to make a baby bottle. Yeah, we got like two options. Then in the end, we choose ask the baby bottle manufacturer to make the product because the manufacturer should have safety production environment, and they should be like very serious, have the all kind of certifications. That's why we finally choose the baby bottle manufacturer, even though the cost is much more expensive than a mug manufacturer.
That's really interesting. So you move quite quickly to developing it yourself, which I think is very cool as well, because then you can, go above and beyond and develop it even further and kind of keep it secretive, which is great. Let's go to like the next extreme, which is I have like an invention. I have like a new product idea. Like this doesn't exist on Earth. And I come to you. How do we go about creating this product? How do we go about inventing it, creating a prototype, testing it, creating a mold, maybe patenting it, etc. But let's focus on the creation first. How does someone go about doing that in China?
Okay, so firstly, you need to figure out like for the product, if it's possible to make some adjustment or improvement on an existing product, or you have to develop this product from nothing. And if it's a product that you can like make some improvement from existing things, then you can ship the sample to us. And when we see the quality, then we can we will know what type of manufacturer to reach out, and we will know what type of like quality that the customer want. And if the product is developed from nothing, then it's better to have like a design file, and the customer, they can go to a website like Fiverr or Upwork to find some freelancers to who can make a 3D design or make the design pattern, and then once we got this, the design, it's easier for us to talk to the manufacturer, because if we didn't give the manufacturer anything, just give them like a drawing or picture, the manufacturer will think that we are not serious and they refuse to quote to us. Or they will quote a very expensive price to us to refuse us.
Cool. So if I come to you with an invention, I've got to bring you design files. And you would obviously tell me exactly what kind of design files you need. Like, are they AI files, etc. So then moving to our next question here, and feel free to circle back. But the next thing is, I'm worried about sharing that idea. I'm worried about giving it to them, because what if they take it and produce the product themselves and just start selling it to their clients? So what do I need in China for that? I know people speak of NDA agreements, which is more US. I know NNN agreements are stronger in China because they're Chinese-based agreements. But what would you recommend to someone? They've got a really good idea. You've maybe seen the idea with your client and you want to also protect it for them. What do we do?
Okay, firstly, like and then nano NDA is quite important if you want to share a new product idea to the manufacturer, the supplier, and if they can sign that, then at least they can prove themselves that they are serious. It's not that necessary to worry about the supplier will just take advantage of your design because it needs a lot of money to invest, like mold. Yeah, and for people who just want to making profit from copying products, they don't want to take the risk about like developing a new product. And then, for example, like developing a new product, like creating mode, will cost you tens of thousands US dollars. And for those kind of people who only want to make quick money and they don't want to like spend that much money and promote to the market. So you don't need to worry about this.
Yes, I remember looking at creating a mold and it was about $20,000 to do. And I guess you're right on this. I try convey that to sellers as well because they often ask me this. And I say, time to market is more important than trying to protect your idea. Because I spoke to another sourcing expert and he was saying that an NNN agreement, like if you do it properly with a lawyer in China, can also cost a huge amount of money. Like, he was talking even about $10,000 to do some of these NNN agreements and patents. So I can see where you're coming from because they also don't know the market research behind the seller's idea. But go on.
Yeah, just imagine which is harder. Is it harder to invent a product or is it harder to promote a product and make it become like hard selling, which is more hard? Of course, like the later one is more hard and also it's not possible for any like Chinese manufacturer to be like successful on selling.
Okay, perfect. And then, so in your experience, though, what does work in China? I know we're not recommending it for everyone, but what does work? Like NDAs, I've seen that they don't hold much water in China. Like people still do it. NNN agreements, and then you have obviously patents done in China. What's your experience with those? Being in the sourcing world there, what will a manufacturer not replicate? Like they'll say, no, this is too dangerous.
Okay, so like no matter it's like N or NDA, I mean it works quite similar. I mean just to inform the manufacturer that you cannot leak the information design. So like the most effective way, of course, if it is to like apply for a trademark, apply for a design patent or invention patent. Yeah, this is the most effective way. It's not cheap. For let's say for a design patent, in China it's quite cheap, like couple of $100. Yeah, but the market is in America, so you have to like apply a design patent in America. So I have consult with the patent agency, and they tell me that the cost will be around 9,000 US dollars for US and around 5,000 US dollar for Europe. So this is for the design patent, and for the invention patent in America it costs like 14,000. In Europe costs like 20,000 US dollars. So it's quite expensive, but this is the most effective way to protect your IP.
Okay, which would you prefer? You're selling in the US on Amazon.com, you're sourcing from China. Which patent would you want? One based in the US or one based in China? Because my thinking would be if I have a patent in the US, the Chinese manufacturers are still going to copy my design.
Yeah, the best way is, of course, like you apply for both countries. And the good thing is applying in China is very cheap. The design patent like a couple of $100, and the invention patent is around like 1,000.
And you believe that a Chinese manufacturer, if it has a Chinese patent, they're not going to copy it?
If you have the Chinese patent and the manufacturer cannot copy it, or you can sue them.
I know I can sue them, but what's your experience is, would they copy it? Yes or no?
Well, as far as I know, most manufacturers, they only want to make the profit on making products. Yeah, like they only want to make the money on producing. Like they don't want to take that risk.
This is really interesting because you wouldn't believe the amount of questions I get on this, like daily, about protecting the idea. And I try convey what you're saying. It's like suppliers are in the business of supplying, not being an end seller or creating new products all the time. But this is good to hear. And then, Jing, let's move back a bit to the process. So we've looked a bit at protection, which is always the question that jumps up at people. But at this point, what's the process for creating a new product? What are the next steps here?
And then when you have the NDA, then you need to like give it to the supplier to sign. And then at this moment, you can inquire supplier what is the cost, what is the time for creating a sample, and also you can ask the manufacturer to give you estimated cost for the massive production, because at this stage manufacturer don't know what is the exact cost of the product, because only when they finish the prototype they can figure out how much material will be used, then they will give a precise quote. So and yeah, and also at this stage it's better to ask the manufacturer to send you some samples from their previous mass production. Then you can see if their like manufacturing technique is good, if the product from their last production is good quality. Yeah, and you never trust a manufacturer that they tell you they will improve the quality in after you place order. If the sample from the if the sample you get from them is not good.
Yes, I actually find often I can see they spend more time on the sample quality than on the mass production. Yeah. So I like that you said that. And then just quickly, Jing, like what's an estimate cost of getting a prototype?
So for plastic made products, first you can ask the manufacturer to give you a 3D printing sample. That's very cheap, like a couple $100 is enough. But if you want to make the real sample, and then you need to create a plastic mold, that's very expensive. Like easily costs you at least 1,000, 2,000 US dollars just for one small part.
And that is a plastic mold.
Plastic mold, yeah. Plastic mold is very expensive, most expensive. And also silicon mold is very expensive. And for metal mold, it's much cheaper, like several hundred US dollars is enough. But if you want to develop product which is made from like textiles or wood, for this kind of thing, you don't need to create a mold. So the cost to make a prototype is just a few $100s, and you will get the sample, which is handmade.
And so then with this mold though, Jing, say I did do a mold, would that be the same mold I later use for the like mass production?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. Like the mold is the same that you are going to use for the massive production.
Okay, perfect. What's next from here?
After you getting the samples from suppliers' previous production, then you will figure out which supplier that you will choose in the end. And then you just pay them the cost for creating the mold or making the prototype.
Perfect. And then, Jing, when you're talking about finding products from a previous production run, that can be any product. It's obviously not going to be my product, but you're looking for a product that's made of like the same material.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
And after like you getting the prototype or the sample after they creating the mold, then you can you check quality if it's the same as you want as the massive production, and then if you are satisfied, that's great, and just send a deposit to start the massive production. And this is the whole process of developing new products.
If you guys do want to learn more about Jing sourcing, make sure you check the description below. I've really enjoyed talking to Jing and Emma and his team. They're a small but growing business in China, and I really like that about them. They're very personable. They've got a small team there, which is really going to focus on your sourcing needs. if this is something that you do need. Remember to drop a comment below if you did find the hidden product in this video. Remember to smash like, that helps us a lot. Subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video.